This episode of FilmRiot is brought to you by Domain.com.
Today on FilmRiot, we fall and get demonic. Welcome to FilmRiot, the show that takes mystery out of the effects techniques, going to some of your favorite Hollywood films. I'm your host, Ryan Conley, and once again, we're bringing you some oldie but goodie episode action, mostly because everyone got sick this past week, which halted production for us. But again, instead of leaving you without an episode, we have two replay effects for you today, both of which are ones that I've been asked about a lot lately. First up is a demon effect that we did back in our Florida days, in which Josh also played a lady, so that's good too. Okay, kiddies, first thing, just like last time, we are going to shoot our footage, which this time, all it is me whipping to the corner of the room, but instead of whipping to the corner, I started out at the corner and then panned away. I did this so that I can reverse the footage in post and get a really solid stop for the effect. Next, I shot Josh on the green screen acting as the demon in really tight clothes. The tight clothes are for two reasons. One, it's so tight to the body so that we get a really defined silhouette, and the second reason is for the ladies. So now that we have all our footage, away we go to our compositor of choice. Right now we're using After Effects, but you could also use HitFilm, which we will actually be using on the show very soon. It's a great product and a great company too. So inside your compositor, drop in your background plate first and then the footage of your actor looking ridiculous while acting out the demon scene. Next, key your footage, which again, if you want to get deeper into that, go here. Now with your footage keyed, the next thing to do is add brightness and contrast to your image, then take both the brightness and the contrast settings down to minus 100%, and you will end up with a complete silhouette of your actor. And we're already halfway there, as you can see. It's easier than you thought it was gonna be, isn't it? Next, I add liquify, then I grab the nudge tool and distort the layer until his bottom half is really skinny. This also does two things. First, it makes it look less human-like, and the second thing is to help hide his body in the shadows. Moving on, next we will create a red solid and put it behind our demon layer, then create a mask on the red solid layer to match the shape of the demon's face, and then keyframe it to follow the movements of the head. After you've completed that, create another mask on the demon layer around both of the eyes and keyframe those to follow the eyes as it moves. I will also keyframe those masks to fade in as the demon lifts its head, and bazammy, we have red eyes. Next, create a black solid, then an oval mask making a cylinder down the center of the screen, drop the opacity a bit, and change the blending mode to hard light. After we color correct this will help put everything in the corner into that dark void you see in the final. Now we will duplicate our demon layer, bring it below everything except the background layer, then make it a bit smaller, drop the opacity to 35, and add a blur. Then we will position this to look like it's the demon's shadow on the wall. Finally, we'll add an adjustment layer, put a color correction on that, increase the contrast a lot, which will black out that corner and only let us see bits of the demon, and we are done. If you want to see the full episode, go right here, and if you want to see the sketch that goes with it, go right here. But now a break, and then the Falling Man.
Son of a bitch!
What?
I'm trying to make a website.
So?
You ever try to make a website, Ryan?
Yes.
I thought not. It's not as easy as it sounds.
Sure it is. Just use domain.com. Reliable and affordable hosting and domain name goodness.
What?
Domain.com. Their hosting plans are really reliable and pretty affordable too. And they got the domain discovery service to help you pick the right name for you if the one you wanted originally was taken.
That is fantastic!
Then why'd you slap me?
Sorry, when I get happy, I express it physically. Can't help it. Go on.
Okay. You can also use a bunch of different domain extensions to further your brand.
That's awesome. What kind of extensions?
Like .ninja or .expert. Just adds a little something to your domain extension. Oh no. Are you shitting me?
That's truly fantastic. I'm loving everything I'm hearing.
And if you use the coupon code FilmRiot, you get 20% off your order.
Wow, I am sold. I'm using domain.com today.
Logo. Another one of my favorites was this mostly simple but very effective falling effect. Okay, let's kick this effect in the face. And to be repetitive and obvious, first we shoot our footage. And for this one, I kind of sort of stole from myself. For most of the sketch, when we're cutting to Josh and him talking to us, that interaction, I just used a same technique that I used in this episode here, which is like our 4th episode, I think, that we ever made. So basically, I just had Josh stand on something tall and shot him from a low angle with just the sky in his background. Easy cheesy. Easy cheesy, don't be fresh and squeeze me. Now the falling was accomplished in technically 4 shots. One of the 3 of us looking up and then miming Josh falling, and then we looked down to pretend he fell. Then, without cutting the camera, Josh ran in, laid on the floor, and when I wanted him to, he threw himself as high in the air as he could and then acted out the last bit of falling and him hitting the ground. Next, I grabbed my blue and/or green screen, whatever you want to use, and I draped it over a stool and then suspended it so Josh could stand on the stool with the blue screen still behind him. Then I had him drop off the stool as if he was falling off the roof.
Nyla, get! It's recording again. Nyla!
Then I got another shot of Josh jumping in the air and landing flat like so, which I had him repeat about 3 or 4 times. Now I take all my footage into my compositing software, which for me is After Effects. I first drop in my background without Josh, then move a few seconds into the clip, and then I will add the clip where Josh lands, which I will start once he's already launched himself up and he's already on the way back down.
I dropped my gum.
Oh, you
my
got
gum
it?
fell out
Did
of
you
my
cut it?
mouth.
YOLO, man.
Now I add in the shot of Josh on the stool and dropping off, but I will only use it up until the point right before he starts to leave the frame. Then I will key and position it where I need it. And now we have this. But we have this big middle part where he disappears, which is not what we want, so we're gonna have to fill it with those other shots that we got. So add in the shot of Josh jumping up and landing, which I only use a small portion of this clip, about 4 frames, from the point to where he starts coming back down to right before he hits. Then I will take that portion and mix it with the 3 other takes that I did, which I took the same exact portion from, combine them together to create this fall, which I will put between the 2 shots.
You're gonna see the innocence. It's gonna ooze out my beard.
Now I will move ahead in the timeline until he appears again and match that up. Now turn on the motion blur for the layer and we have this. Done and done. Again, a very easy way to knock out an effect that looks far more difficult than it is, when it's actually pretty easy.
Easy cheesy zombies want to eat me.
The only bummer about that shot is the fact that we totally forgot to put the shirts back on Josh's arm for that last moment when he hit the ground, so that totally messed it up. But still, it's a good idea. Win some, lose some, what are you gonna do?
And it looked like shit.
Wait, which part, the whole thing or just hitting the ground?
Just hitting the ground.
Because you didn't have the shirt sleeves on?
Yeah.
I already explained that, so there was no real reason for the negativity.
Yeah, but it looked like shit.
Fair enough. To see the full episode, go right here. But that is it for today. As always, you got the Twitters right here, and I'll see you guys next week when they start calling me the Camel Lady.
I call you that all the time.
Shut up.